Thank you. Like to open the City of Morro Bay Recreation and Parks Commission regular meeting. This is November 21st, 2024, and it's 6 p.m. We are in the Veterans Hall on Surf Street. So the first thing I would like to do is establish a quorum, and we have 4 of our 5 commissioners here. So we are called to order, and we will observe a moment of silence. Thank you. And now we will stand for a Pledge of Allegiance with Mr. Sidaris leading us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Announcements and presentations, Mr. Carmichael?
Thank you, Madam Chairman, Chairwoman, Chairperson. How are we
Chair.
going to do this today? All right. Thank you. Couple quick announcements. I wanted to remind the 4 of you, we do have our advisory body recognition event taking place December 9th at the Morro Bay Yacht Club. That's a Monday night, 5:30. If you haven't RSVP'd with the city clerk, please do so if you can attend. If you can't, thank you, and you're going to miss a fun event. The other item I had was we have our Rec and Parks Commission term expirations. I've got Ms. Winholds expiring as well as Mr. Sidaris expiring on January 31st, 25. So throw your hat back into the ring when we do that again, please. That's what I had. I'm going to send it down to my staff if they have anybody or anything they'd like to announce at this time.
Mm-hmm. Andrew.
Good evening. Can we hear me? Good evening. I'm just going to touch base on holiday time because that's what's coming up. Recreation has 2 big events. We start with our annual holiday tree lighting that will be Friday, December 6th, the first Friday in December. We will be out at City Park. We'll light our beautiful tree that is growing every single day. And we invite everyone to come enjoy some holiday performances by the Morro Bay High School dance team, as well as the children's group from Kids Club. They'll be performing as well. And we'll have hot cider, cookies, and of course the big visit from Santa. So hope to see you all there. And then the next day, what do you do with Santa after he's been here all day? Well, you feed him breakfast. And so right here in the Vets Hall, we'll host our annual Breakfast with Santa from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tickets are $12, and they enjoy a pancake breakfast with a hot cocoa bar, the elf workshop, which has crafts and cookie decorating, gingerbread house making, and they get to take pictures with Santa, visit with him, and have a great little morning. We are partnering with the local Kiwanis chapter, who they make the best pancakes, and so they'll be doing our breakfast. And then we also have some other volunteer. Delmar PTA will be out there hosting the hot cocoa bar, as well as the Key Club, volunteers from the Key Club, and volunteers from Morro Bay High School.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
In terms of advertising, obviously Delmar Elementary already knows because the PTA is involved. What about some of our private little schools, like the little Montessoris around town and others? Is there a way to notice them?
So I actually don't advertise at Delmar Elementary because San Luis Coastal doesn't allow to do like flyers or anything like that. But we do, luckily we have our own childcare site on site, so we provide advertisement through there. There's a beautiful banner at City Park, if you haven't seen that, that has both events, Friday and Saturday's event. We also put events out on our social media pages, and then just kind of have other places share that. Oh, and we also will, we have an ad that we'll put in Bay News that has all of our events that will be happening, and that comes out to next week on the 21st.
Today's the 21st.
Oh, next.
Maybe it comes out today.
Oh, it came out today. Whoa. So those are our advertising areas.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's it. Oh, and I just wanted to say, keep an eye out for our newsletter that will be in the Bay News coming out today. That will also have information on our camps that we run during the school holiday breaks. So we'll run one next week for 3 days, and then we'll run multiple camps throughout the winter break because of the times with the holidays falling in the middle. But we have a couple 2-day weeks, then a 1-day, and then another 2 days. So lots of opportunities for the kids to do something over the break while their parents still have to work. So
Good service. Is that it?
Thank you. Yes, it is.
Commissioner Sahardis, you're the senior liaison?
Yes, thank you. Well, the only thing the seniors really asked for are more pickleball courts. Other than that, they haven't really asked anything of me, of my representation there. Their programs are going well, and they're doing a great job. So that's really all I have to report. I'm sorry there's not more, but they're not very demanding.
That's okay. Is the pickleball discussion something we want to make a future agenda item at the end of the meeting, or no?
Yeah, I believe we should.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have?
You have to talk in the thing.
In regard to the pickleball courts, Cloisters Park, the area right across from the park, I guess, that area along Highway 1.
Okay.
Is that an available area?
We don't
I'm not sure,
get to
but that's
discuss
what we're
that
going
right
to
now.
discuss when we
Okay.
Yeah.
cover that subject in depth.
Okay.
Hang on to that question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay. It's time for public comment. Is there someone in our audience who would like to speak?
Please state your name for the record before you speak. Thank you.
I'm just going to do that. Hi, my name is Rich Robb. I'm the pickleball representative for the Senior Center. And we have the fastest growing activity in the world is pickleball. We have 4 courts at Del Mar Park, which everybody knows. And we have a paddle up system from 8 to noon. And that means that if you want to play on a court, you put your paddle up. There's a little holder right there. And you get the game after the next game. So everybody's in and out, in and out. And it's packed all the time. You very seldom do you have any open courts in the morning. Okay? And in the afternoon, we've set it up differently where you can take a court or reserve a court for an hour. And if you just want to practice your serve or whatever, you can do that. But the thing is, right now, there are so many people in the afternoon. It's as impacted in the afternoon as it is in the morning. Now, the finances don't really reflect that. We have about $1,000 a month that comes in for $1 a day. And so, and that means that most of the people pay, but not everybody. Okay, and I got that. And yeah, and there I'm going, as Drew was talking about, we would like 4 additional courts where the present basketball court is. And that would maintain the friendly atmosphere that we have now, and it keeps the community of players together. And they really, that's the heart of pickleball, is the community experience. And it's been in the magazine, I should have looked it up. Somebody came from Connecticut and said they had to come see this place. And I went, really? And they said, yeah, it's listed as the top 10 places in America to play pickleball. So that's pretty darn good. And as far as putting it anywhere, we did recommend over where the volleyball court is, or there's no real court there, there's a couple poles. And I know that the creek is part of the issue there, but you got a bathroom and you've got picnic areas. So a slab of concrete, I don't see would make any difference. And it has been noted that that those are flood areas. Granted, but so is the pickleball, and so is the basketball. The only difference is we take our brooms and broom it off and play. You know, we don't wait for nature to dry it out. We go ahead and play. So, and if you were to use, if you didn't use the volleyball area, if you use the amphitheater, as Kurt was saying, we talked a while back, and just fill it in with some dirt, and it wouldn't be a flood zone at all. So It's the best place because it has adequate parking. The noise that often is a problem in other cities is truncated here because you have the school on one side, you have the creek on the other side, you have the mountains on this side, you got the oceans on that side. So there's no noise issue as there would be placing it anywhere else in this nice little town of ours. So let's see if I forgot anything. Probably. Yeah, I guess that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll close public comment, seeing no one else in the audience.
Madam Chair, if you could check, we can check with AGP, see if there's anybody that might be out there.
Thank you for that
Yes.
reminder. AGP, is there anyone online?
No, Madam Chair, there are no raised hands online.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, consent calendar. There's one staff report, which is the excused absent for our missing commissioner, Ms. Fazio. And there is a email here addressed to Mr. Carmichael. She has a family issue and asks that we vote to make this her an excused absence. So I would entertain a motion to pass A1.
I move that we pass A1.
Would you push on your thing?
I move that we pass A1.
Thank
as
you.
stated. I second the motion.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, just say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, pass 4-0. Thank you. Okay, that takes us to public hearings, of which we have none, and so we will go to our business items. And I'll just turn those over to Mr. Carmichael again.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Joining us today is Carlos Mendoza, our Maintenance Division Manager, who's going to take us through this item of playgrounds at city parks. Carlos?
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Appreciate the opportunity to present some exciting news and some exciting opportunities to improve our parks and our playgrounds. I have a presentation here, and you obviously have the staff report as well that has been prepared. Just wanted to outline first the presentation, so I'll provide the Rec Commission with a little bit of background on our parks, playgrounds. I'll also provide some budget numbers. Then we'll get into some playground equipment themes for 2 of the parks. We will provide you with a recommendation from staff, and then we'll request some input from the Rec Commission. So we'll start off with background, and first of all, we wanted to start off with the budget. So the city has allocated $250,000 to replace playgrounds in our parks. And that money came from the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, and those monies basically are from the federal government to help cities through the pandemic. And so the city received some money. The city allocated a portion of that money to help to improve our playgrounds. And so that's where the $250,000 came from. There is a time frame to use those funds, and we are coming very close to the end of that time frame. The city had these funds, like I said, years ago, but due to the load capacity at Public Works, there wasn't very much forward progress made on it. And our engineers are buried in street work, so I asked our Public Works Director if I could take this project on so we can move it along and try to get some play equipment at our parks. So that's why you see it here today, and that's why I'm presenting. So kind of a little bit of time frame as well for this budget. So we're looking to be able to utilize the funds and have something built by the end of 2025, which is kind of a short window. We'd like to present this to you today. Then our engineers will take it to RFP. They will take it then to our city council to review the contract. And at that point, the public can also have input on the final designs or whatever it is that comes out of the RFP. There'll be a contract executed, and then we will get on the time frame of the contractor, and hopefully, like I said, by by the end of 2025, we can have some improvements to our playgrounds. So we have several locations where we have playgrounds on our parks. We have Del Mar, Monte Young, City Park, Cloisters, Lila Kaiser, and also Tidelands. So through some internal inspections, discussion, we've looked at the parks and the playgrounds. We've identified 3 playgrounds that are in bigger need of replacement, and in order of worst to least, again, all 3 need some improvement: City Park, Lila Kaiser, and Cloisters. And some of the issues that we've seen with these playgrounds is a couple of them. They've exceeded the life expectancy of the playgrounds. Because of the age of the play structures, a lot of them are obsolete, and so when there is an issue with those playgrounds, parts need to be obtained. We cannot find any of those parts, so it's hard to make repairs on those playgrounds. And then also, every so often, our city's insurance brings up some issues with our playgrounds as well that they are concerned about. So with that being said, I'll just kind of go through, like I said, the 2 parks and playgrounds that we have determined that are in the biggest need of playground replacement, that's City Park and Lila Kaiser. So City Park, what are some of the visible issues that we see there? So we, either through inspection or through the public bringing issues up to us, we are able to identify some of the issues at our playgrounds. So you can see rust, significant rust here at the right-hand side where a railing has detached. There's no way to repair that. And so one of the paths that we have taken, because we can't find replacement parts, is that portions of the playground slowly are being removed. So for example, the middle portion there, you see a hole on the slide, and there is no way to make repairs on that slide, so that slide was removed. And if you can see the picture before, right next to the swings, there used to be a standalone slide that was removed just a few months ago. So slowly but surely, as we can't find replacement parts, the playgrounds here start to become smaller and smaller. They are safe. Again, the issues have been looked at, and we've made the necessary adjustments or eliminating things to make those playgrounds as safe as possible at this point. But again, they're becoming smaller and smaller by the year. So Lila Kaiser, again, has the same issues as City Park. We find rusted through metal. The picture on the left-hand side is, again, similar to what we saw at City Park, where a slide was unrepairable, and then that slide was removed. Temporary plywood was installed there, followed by some manufacturing that we hired out to install a new railing there. So again, we have the same issue here where we're removing play equipment as we can't replace it. With that background information, so city staff contacted a couple of companies that do playgrounds, and what we wanted to do was to be able to get a feel for what we could do with the $250,000. And so we asked these companies to provide us with some renderings of both City Park and Lila Kaiser. We very early realized that even though $250,000 is a good amount of money in the world of public works, it's not very much. And so in order to be able to replace some of these play structures, we asked the companies to narrow it down, not expand the footprint, but basically eliminate the play structure and replace the play structure. City Park, we asked for renderings for ages 2 to 5, which is what we have now. The play structure there is catered to that. Lila Kaiser Playground is catered for ages 2 to 12. We also did some research on play structures, and back in 2019, the city had already discussed the issues at City Park and had found the same issues that we're discussing now. At that point, the city had allocated about $150,000 to replace the playground at City Park right before COVID hit. And so when we looked at the staff report there and the recommendation, the idea back then was to replace the play structure with a firefighter-themed playground. And so it kind of made sense, being that the fire department is right across from City Park. So we asked both companies to give us a couple of renderings so we could see what fire-themed playgrounds would look like. The other thing to note as well is that even though we're providing renderings for specific parks, these renderings can be interchanged, meaning that if the Rec Commission sees a rendering at City Park, but they think that it would be best suited for Lila Kaiser, that is an option with some minor modifications. So just keep that on the back of your minds as well. Based on what we received back from these companies and their estimated pricing, staff believes that we can replace or utilize the funds to replace the playgrounds at 2 of our parks. And that is a modest playground, which we'll see a couple of renderings of here in a minute. So we'll start with City Park and a couple of the options that were presented to us by these 2 companies. Again, we asked for a couple of renderings for fire-themed playgrounds. And you can see the first rendering here is of a fire truck with a small firehouse, a set of swings, and a couple of amenities, fire-related amenities on the sides. You can see a back rendering here of what that play structure looks like, with some slides and a fire pole in the middle there. The estimated price for this is $125,000. And you can see an aerial view here of that play structure. Here's the second theme for the fire playground. And again, it's a fire theme. This one, though, the fire engine wraps around the entire play structure there. There's a couple of more fire-related amenities as well. And here's a back view of it with some slides and a little more walking, exercise kind of equipment in the middle there. The estimated price for this one is $140,000. So a different option is a more modern playground structure, and this is what you see on theme number 3. This is a theme that is, like I said, a little more modern. There's a lot more agility courses through it, monkey bars, places for kids to climb. It also has the swings and a couple of slides as well. Here's a rendering of it from the back side. And the estimated cost of this one is $147,000. Here's a modest price and a modest playground option, theme number 4. This is the lowest price that we were able to get from the companies. And again, it has slides, it's got monkey bars, it's got places for kids to climb, some swings, and this one is estimated at about $91,000. So we can look at a couple of options for Lila Kaiser. Again, as I mentioned before, Lila Kaiser is catered to children ages 2 to 12. And in order to accomplish that, Lila Kaiser has 2 play structures. So the one on the bottom left, that is for children 2 to 5, and then the one on the right-hand side is for children 5 to 12. Rendering for this one, theme number 5, is you see the same thing, a play structure for kids 2 to 5 to the left, and for 5 to 12 to the right there, with slides and places for kids to climb. And this is the back view of the larger play structure. and a front view of what that would look like. And this one is priced at about $145,000. And then the last one is theme number 6, and this one is an interesting theme. We asked one of the companies to provide us with an option of kind of a woody forest, natural look playground, and so that is what you see here. This is an interesting option. Again, there's 2 play structures, one for younger kids and one for older kids, slides. There are logs that are laid on the ground and logs that are standing up. And it's hard to kind of figure out what it is that the natural look is, but the information that was provided to us is basically what you see here on the right-hand side. And this is a playground that is built with natural round timbers. And so you can see here, how it would look where kids would be climbing, on the round poles or, walking on the round poles that are on the ground. And the structures as well are built with wood. The price for this one is $217,000. The vast majority of that price is the shipping cost. In order to get these materials to the site is where the biggest expense is. So in conclusion, Public Works is recommending that we go with a firefighter theme for City Park, as that was what was discussed back in 2019. And then theme option number 5 for Lila Kaiser. And a couple of discussion points for the Rec and Park Commission that you can consider is you can recommend or support the recommendation from staff to utilize the funds for 2 parks at a modest price for each playground structure, or you can recommend that we utilize all the funds for 1 park and maybe have a larger play structure at that park. So those are things for you to consider, and also discuss and provide some input on what we just provided to you for these themes for replacing playgrounds at City Park and Lila Kaiser Park. I think that's it for the presentation, and I'm happy to answer questions, and I'm looking forward to getting your input.
Does anyone want to ask some questions?
Okay. So do you say the estimates include removing and disposal of the old equipment?
The estimates include everything from the removal to the installation to the materials, and they are based on prevailing wage as well.
Okay, thank you.
Just to piggyback on that, is any of it recyclable, or are there pieces that we can keep that we have that aren't old and rusty?
So the short answer is there's really because our playgrounds are obsolete, the manufacturer won't install older parts with their new parts. So if there is going to be a replacement, it'd be a complete replacement of the playground. If I'm answering your question correctly.
Yeah, so for example, up at City Park, the swing set is separate from the other climbing area. So if the swing set's still good, can we keep it and get rid of the climbing area, or do we have to get rid of both?
We don't. If there are portions that, like you just mentioned, that could be saved and save some funds, absolutely, we could do that. That will come when we prepare the RFP and ask the manufacturers for a certain playground.
That's incorporated into what we currently have?
Yes. Once we make a determination of what we can keep and can't, then we can put that in the RFP.
So would staff evaluate that, or who
Yes,
who
we would.
evaluates that? The insurance company?
No, we would make the initial evaluation, but again, so as you bring up the swings at City Park, our recommendation would be that we remove those and just bring in new equipment altogether. I don't see us keeping old equipment and bringing new equipment. If we can purchase all new equipment like we've been estimating, then I think it's a lot better to go that route as far as all new. And that is what staff is recommending.
Did you want to follow up?
Okay, are these playground things, are they modular? Could we start off with 3 small sets, 1 for each park, and then add on to them if we got more money to make them full size?
That is a good question, and I'm not sure. We'll
Okay.
have to research that question.
And then my personal opinion, from what I've observed living here, I've only been here 15 years or so, is City Park, I think, is the least used park of the 3. Do you think Lila Kaiser would probably be the most heavily trafficked for kids? Cloisters, followed by Lila Kaiser, and then City Park. That's just my opinion. As much as I like City Park, I'm not sure that should be the first one we fix, unless it's the worst one we have. Well,
Yeah, that's a good point.
got it, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. June?
So these companies, you can get à la carte, so to speak, right? You can piece this together. So I'm with Betty on that. On some of the swings, I mean, they're still usable, they're still in good, and those really don't go obsolete. I mean, you have the chain and there's a few fittings that, I mean, if we're gonna, because, well, it doesn't really add up. I mean, to get any of these, you would have to pick one, you know what I mean? Unless that $100,000 that they allocated back in 2019, is that still part of this, or is that something separate? That was one of my questions. Is that still, do we still have available those funds?
So the funds available at this point is $250,000.
That-
So that's
good.
that's what we have.
Do you know what happened to the 150 from 2019?
I don't know if it was reallocated during COVID for some other needs at that point, but the funds that we currently have are coming from the ARPA funds that we received.
And it appears from your staff report that that was designated by, it just says the city has allocated that. Does that mean staff allocated, the city council did that? Like, who's put the limit on that?
So that is through city council
Action?
number, yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Ms. Wall?
Well, I was interested in how long does this equipment live? How long does it last?
The new equipment?
Well, even the current, when was that installed? I just looked at the 3 parks, actually, also Cloisters that you said was also a safety concern. Just looking at the equipment, I'm just curious, how long does that equipment last?
I don't have an answer to that. I can certainly research the expected life of the playground. I know that the staff report back in 2019, when the city looked at City Park, the staff report mentioned that the life expectancy of that playground had exceeded its expectation. And so I'm not sure when that playground was installed by the city.
And do we have a guaranteed lifetime for the new equipment, I assume?
Yeah, so, of course, we're not asking you to pick a contractor or a specific playground. What we're asking the Rec Commission to do is to provide us with some recommendations of a theme. And so the life expectancy and the warranties, they will come all with what is picked, and obviously that'll be part of the contract and what we look at as far as who we choose at that point.
And you mentioned that you had talked to 2 different people or companies for 2 different bids. Could we go with one and the other, or are you assuming that they'll be together?
Yeah, so at this point, all we're looking at is themes. So even though we engaged a couple of companies, what we asked them to do is just provide us with some options for themes and a ballpark price for what they think the playgrounds would be. Once it goes to RFP, obviously, it'll be open to any playground manufacturer to bid on. And so it'll be more than just, obviously, more than just two companies that will bid on that.
Questions, comments?
Well, I'm just curious, when you're making a decision, do you figure out, okay, this is going to last a certain amount of time, so if I'm going with something a little more expensive, maybe I'll get more time out of that equipment, or how does that? And it seemed like the Cloisters had a lot of rust in their equipment. One little steps were boarded off, like a lot of rust. I mean, it's bad too, if we're looking at rust, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question. So one of the observations that we've kind of made is, the parks that are sitting closer to the ocean seem to be getting the worst. Lila Kaiser and Cloisters, there's a lot more rust than you see in other parks that are a little further out. And so that also plays a part in how long these playgrounds actually last. And so that is a consideration as well.
Okay, well, I imagine the newer equipment would have like powder-coated steel and then composite materials, so they naturally just last longer than stuff that, was around when we were kids. Because when we were kids, it was just
Is it this old?
steel, galvanized steel. Now they have much better, I'm sure they'll last a lot longer because they're probably manufactured to better materials. Are these domestically manufactured, or we don't know?
Again, we haven't looked at who we're picking for, the playgrounds. All we're looking at is
Right.
just themes right
Okay.
now at this point.
So it sounds to me like the commission's interested in more than just themes.
Well,
That maybe we have some
Well, maybe.
suggestions to go along with those, choosing some themes, if that's okay. Could I ask staff, could you push some buttons so we could see ourselves on the screen?
Oh, I don't think we want to do that.
Thank you. I just need to know what's going on. Okay, so does anyone beyond questions have a comment or a recommendation?
I believe I have a recommendation.
Okay,
I like this one for City Park in blue, because I believe it's the least used facility. And I love the fire one, but the fire guys are too big to play on it. So I would put that at Lila Kaiser, because that's where I see a lot more activity, because it's a bigger park, and I just think people have more parties and events there. So I think the bigger playground set would serve better there.
that's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Commissioner Costanzo,
I'll go, you're talking,
is your mic on?
Drew, you're like theme 1, is that your theme,
Yeah, this
that's
is-
theme 4,
Yeah,
theme
the
4.
more modestly
Yeah.
priced one. But this one in blue, I think, would look great there.
Yeah, I'll have to agree that the most used park is Lila Kaiser and
Right.
maybe Del Mar. Del Mar sees a lot of traffic through there. I use Del Mar myself.
Right.
It's always full. As the pickleball court there, I mean, it's crazy.
Right. But we can only
So-
assume we're going to pursue getting more grants and things to keep improving all the park play equipment, correct? So,
But I'll have to say
What we
that
have now
the
is-
Cloisters that's looking pretty bad, that play structure.
yes, it is. And do you like the fire truck? I think
I like
these
the
are
fire
great.
truck too. I thought that would be great
Yeah.
next to the fire. That was a good idea. Put that next to the fire station. That would.
Well,
But,
Yeah.
but I'm
You're hearing what
open
he
to,
says
I could
now.
go,
Yes.
it could go to
About
Lila
use.
Kaiser too.
yeah, it just makes more sense to put the bigger structure where it's going to get more utilization.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So which one did you like for the city?
This one,
The yellow one?
the yellow.
Oh, it's yellow.
Yeah, this, but in blue.
Yeah. But,
Yellow.
I see where
I
the
don't think
blue
yellow
comes from.
complements the area as much as the blue would. and then the fire
Okay.
truck for Cloisters. The fire truck one.
Oh, for
I like the
Cloisters.
one with theme 1B, because I do like them to have swings, and it looks like there's a couple other little things. It has several slides. It looks really fun.
But I think you can, on these prices, that you can't, I mean, you'd have to cut something somewhere unless because we're only dealing with
With
250.
two.
Well,
And
So I
that's
think
pretty
that'll come
close.
out and
It's
that'll be addressed later. just- we're just picking a
130,000.
theme.
Actually, we're under budget if we go that route. We save money, save up some more money to do.
Oh, yeah,
Lila
if you
Kaiser.
did B in 4, or 1B and 4? is that
Yeah,
what you're saying?
it's 191,000 and 140,000.
Yeah, yeah, that'd work.
So I think.
Well,
we
this
pull-
is just 91,000.
91.
Right, 91, right.
Okay.
And the fire truck's 140.
Okay.
So I think we can do that. And then if we save a little money, we just,
Can we fix the little equipment that's broken out at Cloisters? Wasn't there something boarded up out there you saw?
that's what
No,
we
the
want to
replace-
replace. It's Lila Kaiser that that I think we should put on hold.
Oh, you think Lila Kaiser
yeah.
should be put on hold?
Oh, I thought he was,
I was with you, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I'm thinking put a new one at City Park, the yellow one, but in
Right,
blue.
and I think we're all
And at
agreed on
Cloisters,
that.
the fire truck, and Lila Kaiser. Is there any relocating any of the current equipment that's any good, or is that just not a practical deal?
I wouldn't recommend that. no.
Okay, well, you're more knowledgeable of that than I, so I defer.
Okay, so I need to clarify, so we're all agreed on City Park, and are we kind of okay with the smaller equipment there, it sounds like?
What's
So
the
There's
small
not much
part?
So what
space
you're
there.
recommending is the yellow one, but in blue.
Correct.
Where we aren't sure if we agree is that you're suggesting that the fire theme go to Lila Kaiser.
No, I meant Cloisters, I'm sorry.
But to Cloisters,
To
but they
Cloisters.
asked us to send it to Lila Kaiser.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, so the recommendation is for
Oh, Lila.
play structures at City Park and Lila Kaiser.
So you are perceiving the Lila Kaiser structure as in poorer condition than at Cloisters?
They're both in bad condition, but I.
Because there is a barrier on something at Cloisters.
Yeah, and we were addressing the issue there with fabricating a new piece for that. It's temporary. But as far as the two, the one that is worse between Lila Kaiser and Cloisters is Lila Kaiser.
Oh,
Do you want to believe
Okay.
that?
yeah.
Okay.
so we're back to Lila Kaiser.
So we're back to Lila. Are you good with Lila?
That's a well-used park.
Is it, okay.
It's a used park, I mean, yeah.
A lot of kids there when the grown-ups are playing baseball and stuff, or they're just, well, there's a barbecue area, people bring kids and barbecue.
Well, I think when they do when our kids were doing soccer and what have you and using that park, the moms would bring their kids, some of the
Okay.
younger ones.
I mean, your
would
mic's
play.
not on again.
Oh, okay. Well, you're thinking
So,
it
yeah,
would
the
get
family
utilized.
would go to soccer and the little kids would play on the structures and the older ones is usually how it plays out, I guess. So I'm in favor of Lila Kaiser, is what I'm saying.
Okay, all right.
I know both are used when I go walking at either park. There's usually moms and kids there, or dads and kids at both. They're both highly used. Commissioner Swall?
Well, I'm hearing they really want a theme. And so Drew, your suggestion offered the theme idea, I think, of the choices.
Do you want to offer a different theme?
Well, we actually changed their recommendation.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
We're looking for your input.
It is a smaller area at City Park there's not as much area for maybe the fire theme. Isn't that quite a bit of equipment in that little area?
So the renderings are actually based on the actual size. So what you see there is that
Is
it
what
would,
is-
that it would fit in that space.
And pretty well fill it up, maybe,
Yeah.
which is fine. Are there other comments that we want to make along with our theme recommendation? Do we have any other comments about play equipment or if there's a leftover money, could it be spent at Cloisters or some other place? Or do you already have money set aside to fix Cloisters and things like that?
So the short answer is we don't really have funds right now to look at cloisters. And that's why we're trying to, I guess, make this money count and
Yeah.
trying to do two. And I just wanted to get a clarification on if you are making a recommendation for Lila Kaiser. Okay, I didn't quite.
So,
And that
Well, I
was,
only was thinking that that gets more use, but I may be wrong.
no, we're saying Lila Kaiser again, but you want to say cloisters.
Right. I thought cloisters got more use, but if Lila Kaiser's more in need, then we should go with Lila Kaiser.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that we're,
well, and it's, back to cloisters, it's very sturdy looking, the wood. It's just the rust that I saw where you had the board placed. I think because of rust on the stairs, the little steps. Was that it? Can that be repaired?
So yes, it can. And we've got a manufacturer that's fabricating some replacement parts for it. And so, again, as I mentioned, that's just a temporary repair where we put that plywood, I think, is what my staff did. And we've already replaced a couple of other railings that have been rusted away as well. So that is how we're trying to keep that playground usable.
The rust is always a fight.
It's a fight all the time.
Yeah.
so if we go with these two recommendations that are around $231,000, technically, we would have $20,000 left over. But I understand that this is just an estimate and that the RFP will come back with real numbers.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
But I guess the other option would be to get 3 of the $91,000 play sets.
Oh,
So we should think about that, I imagine.
because that would just be over the
It
250.
would be a little over budget,
Yeah,
20 over,
okay.
no, 21 over. What's 21?
Yeah, if I had it, I'd donate it, but I don't. Sorry.
So what do you think about that idea? Doing the cheaper one at 3 parks instead of 2 at 2 parks?
Well, if we
Or
don't
would
have
it-
money.
It might
But
get a little boring.
Are those the age appropriate? Because like at
Oh.
Lila Kaiser, you're doing the younger group, you have 2 sets. So I think that cheapest one is only for older.
So yes, thank you. So the cheaper one is designed for ages 2 to 5.
So that is
Oh, it's
appropriate.
younger.
And that is what currently is at City Park. Now, Lila Kaiser has 2 play structures. One play structure, smaller one for ages 2 to 5, and then the larger structure for ages 5 to 12. So Lila Kaiser accommodates children from 2 to 12 years old, while City Park is only from 2 to 5.
And the fire theme does incorporate both the little kids and the medium-aged kids.
The fire theme is for ages 2 to 5.
Yeah. Oh, just 2 to 5. So it's
Correct.
too young. We need something for the older kids.
Well, we hadn't had it before.
Well, at the city, it's the young.
But we're talking now Lila Kaiser, though. Do you want it to be just young kids, or do you need it to go up to age 12?
What is,
I wouldn't think so. If you're 12 years old, well, I don't know how many people just go there for that.
You think the younger kids? Mhm. Well, why don't someone make a motion, and we'll get a second?
Drew had a motion.
Okay, I have, after having learned what I've learned now, I make the motion that we recommend that for City Park, I still like the yellow one and put in blue.
And that's
Not
the
Steve number
90
4?
91,000 one.
Yeah, number 4.
Is that- Okay. Then that's what I recommend for city. And then for Lila Kaiser, I like the.
Was it one of these?
145. Well, actually, I kind of like this one then,
The 147.
the 145. Because yeah, this one.
The blue and green?
Yeah, because this one is for all ages, right? or covers both
The
sides?
145?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's number 145. The wooden one I like, but I just think it's too expensive,
I
as much as I
don't
like.
like dead trees. Oh,
Yeah.
I do like the wood swings at Cloisters. It's nice. And that combats the rust. I mean, that'll,
Yeah. You get termites.
hardware.
Yeah, I like that.
Is this,
So you guys like this one for
Yeah.
It has it
Lila
all.
Kaiser? Yeah. Okay,
for Lila Kaiser, yeah.
so that's the motion I make.
is there a second?
I second the motion. Can I have one more discussion?
Surely.
Sure.
In regard to Coleman Park? I know I'm getting off the three you're talking about, but do we still have funds for that park?
So I think our Public Works Director answered that question at the last Rec and Park meeting, and there are funds for it. But if I recall, Mr. Qualick mentioned that we were looking for some additional funds to be able to complete it. So there are some funds that are still needed for that.
And that's assuming that they're still pursuing the approved project from a few years ago?
I believe so. I'm not, I don't want to speak something that isn't true. I'm not very familiar with that project myself, but I do recall that our Public Works Director said that there was some funds for it.
But waiting for more.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, I think we're ready to vote. Can we go with a voice vote? All that are in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, next staff report.
Thank you, Carlos. Item number C2, staff report with regards to the 2024 4th of July event, and Angelica Jepson will go ahead and take this.
Okay. 4th of July Family Fun Day was held on 4th of July. We kept it very similar to what we have done in the past few years. We meet at Tidelands Park. We start the whole event with the annual red, white, and blue bike parade in honor of council member Red Davis. We had 2 local musicians perform, Elise Black, who was a former employee of ours as a lifeguard, and then Riptide Band. We had our normal carnival, bounce house, lawn games, and Kiwanis sold hot dogs and hamburger meals. And we also partnered with Three Stacks in a Rock to host the beer garden. And we had Harbor Department out there, Fire Department, and Police Department all doing different things, giveaways, hosting races, and showcasing their equipment. We had about 2,500 people in attendance this year, and really, this is a easy event that happens every single year. We do have staff cost, as we have to have staff do run the carnival, and some of us just be there to put other things on. But we found ways to reduce staffing, like not. I think next year we probably won't regulate the parking as much. That's kind of the Harbor Department's parking lot. So we've noticed that we might not have to do that, which also takes a few staff to stop parking. And then just partnering with other volunteer groups that helps reduce our staff. I think we'll just continue partnering with the Kiwanis group so that they can do the traditional 4th of July hot dog and hamburger meals. It's a great partnership because they work really well with us in just providing enough for the whole event, and then just volunteering their time, which is really great. We also will continue to have Three Stacks in a Rock because they do give us 10% of their, or 20% of their profits. So that helps supplement some of our funding or things that we provide our expenses. And like I said, we'll continue to partner with other volunteer groups to see if they can come and help run, our bounce house area or our carnival. But yeah, any questions?
Any questions or suggestions? I'd love to see a vegan hot dog.
Okay, I will suggest that to Kiwanis. I will definitely.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
But that's always a good event, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to receive and file these all together or one by one?
I think it can be either way. It's up to you.
Okay. Do you want to just hear them all first and receive and file?
Yes.
Okay, next, please.
It's item C2. Mr. Zink will take this, and this is our 2024 Junior Lifeguard Program. Ken?
Thanks, Commission, for having me. It's good to be back after missing last meeting. Good to see everybody. So yeah, first program report here is for the Junior Lifeguard Program. We had a great summer at the Junior Lifeguards Program. We brought in co-coordinators after losing our previous coordinator of 2 years, which was Sierra Emmerich. So we brought on Dylan Koch and Devin Downing as co-coordinators for the program. We used essentially the same format of 2-week sessions with Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. daily at the beach. And we altered the leadership and training program that we have, which essentially helps us retain some of the participants as employees, where they sign up for leadership and training, and we then make them eligible to volunteer for the program for the summer. So we altered that a little bit. We used to do a week-long program, but based on some recommendation from our old coordinator, we switched it to just a weekend of having the 14-year-old volunteers out and essentially running them through what a day looks like as a volunteer or a staff at the Junior Lifeguard Program. So it was successful. We might have had some folks that had to miss just based on the date, so we'll have to take a look at that for next year. But we had about 8 volunteers out there and retained a lot of our senior staff, and so had a strong outlook for the program. And yeah, we saw a slight uptick in participation with 204 total junior lifeguards getting certified and walking out of there with some life skills. And we do various things like a harbor ops day where they get to go out and ride on the boat with the harbor department. We do a Cayucas competition day where they get to visit with the Cayucas Junior Lifeguard Program and do some competitions. We also partner with the John Wayne Cancer Foundation, and they come out and talk about the importance of sunscreen and sun protection, and some other conservation groups that help educate the junior lifeguards about the environment out there. So Junior Lifeguard Program continues to be a staple of our offerings, and it's a great fit for our harbor town and beach-loving community. Do you guys have any questions?
I have a couple. Is there a need to expand the program because it's so popular? And can you afford to do that?
That's a
In
good
terms of
question.
staff rather than money? Because obviously you're making money off of it.
Correct. Yeah, so initially we opened up 50 spots just to make sure that we have enough staff to keep it, like safety is paramount in this kind of program. So in the last couple of years, we've made those 50 spots available and opened up the signups. And then after the fact, after the initial signups, we've opened up even more, and they haven't been taken up. So
Oh, they have not,
I
okay.
think we're doing just fine. Like we have the capacity to take some more, but yeah, there hasn't been that much interest in participation, I guess, to go over the 50.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Well, I have a question in regard, are there
Mike, please.
scholarships?
Yes, yeah, great question. Yeah, so we do offer scholarships through our regular scholarship program with our partnership with the Community Foundation of Estero Bay. So any of the participants that are eligible for scholarships are eligible for a scholarship for this program, so it gets you half off of the registration fee.
How much is that registration fee?
It's $500 for 2 weeks. The session that happens when 4th of July takes place, we take a couple days off, so we take 2 days off, so it was only $400. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a lot of hours, though, involved in that.
Yeah, it is a lot of hours, and yeah, they're learning life skills that are on a different level than a lot of the programs that you can. And our staff is also trained in not only Title 22, which is the first aid and CPR that firefighters and police are trained at the level at, but they're also like the USLA, which is the U.S. Lifeguard Academy. They all go through the academy to be a beach lifeguard. So all of our employees can work on the harbor tower and as program counselors.
Great. Thank you.
So when they come out of the program, they can do that kind of work.
Correct. Yeah, our employees, yes.
Great program. I love that program. I really do.
Thank you. Want to move on to C4?
Item C4, that's going to be Mr. Zink again with our 2024 flag football program.
Okay. Flag football is growing for us. So we had over 160 players participate this season. It was our third season program that I started when I got the job here. And it was the first time that we've been able to deliver on the division that we've advertised. In the past couple of years, it hasn't been enough players, so we've had to kind of work with the signups and combine some grades. But this year we were able to keep it for 2 grades, starting with first and second, up to third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, eighth. I extended the invitation to the Cambria Youth Athletic Association to participate with us, and had them form 2 teams in which they then reimbursed us for the registration fee. So that was that helped in our participation a little bit. And we had an intern that is on staff that he is a recreation management major at Long Beach State as the coordinator of the program for this summer. So it was a good experience for him, and he really helped out the program. We kicked off the season with a skills assessment and did kind of like a combine style where we had him do a 40-yard dash and playing some mini games and to get him excited for the games that were coming up. And we culminated the season with playoffs that led to a championship game at the Morro High School field. So they got to play under the lights. So yeah, it's a really fun program. I really like it because of its kind of non-contact format. We use the NFL model, which is essentially a pilot program that you can start with them. And after the season was over, someone, I don't know if someone at a corporate office was looking at our numbers or something, but we did get offered a corporate sponsorship from Toyota. So now they gave us some money to buy uniforms and sent out a bunch of free shorts for our players. So yeah, it was a really fun flag football season. Do you have any questions?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, job well done. I'm glad you're utilizing some interns and that you've working hard. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Any comments over here? You good? Okay. Moving on to C5.
Item C5, our 2024 Rock to Pure Run, and that'll be presented by Mr. Zink.
Okay, Rock to Pier was another program that we saw a big increase in participation. So we had 1,100 participants between the Rock to Pier, the half marathon, and I think there was around 8 virtual signups. So well attended. We kind of have fallen into a routine of using our staff. We have a lot of lifeguards that work at the water stations. We have a lot of the youth services staff that did a great job helping at the registration area. We had a really cool design. I don't know if anybody got to see it this year, but it was designed by one of the friends of the Waterbury family that founded the race, and he did it in the fashion of a Peachy folder. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It was a little bit before my time, but I've seen people wearing it all around town. Actually, when I was in San Luis Obispo, I went to get a coffee, and it was like a couple days after the event and saw somebody wearing the shirt. So that was cool. We had the world-famous Kiwanis breakfast. They make the best breakfast in the world, so they were cooking up pancakes and sausages, and they do have a vegetarian option for folks that do not want to have regular sausage. And yeah, it was just a great event. We had Silk Ocean playing for the folks that got back and finished the run, and were enjoying the breakfast there at the beach. And it's just, I think it's a staple for a lot of the people from different parts that like to visit Morro Bay. So brings a lot of people from out of town, and it's just a really great event. Do you have any questions?
Where do you have the breakfast?
You have to do
Sorry. Where do you have the breakfast?
Yeah, so we section off the parking lot at the Rock, and that's kind of our post-event area. So
Where the cars are, you mean?
correct, yeah. So we have to ahead of time post signage up to kind of block off a lot of. It's like the, let's see, it's the north part of the parking lot is all blocked off. So we'll direct traffic to the other end of the parking lot when the event's starting and pack the cars in. Kirk actually helped out. He's a parking professional, so he was really working it there. And yeah, so the north end of the parking lot is where the stage is set up for the band and tables for the post-event area.
When you make, and it maybe isn't that much, but say you've got $16,000 to the credit here, is that help offset some of these other programs, or do you look at reducing your charge?
Most definitely. I think it's two parts. Yes, I think we can add a little bit to maybe an event area feel with some of our things that we could spend some money on. So that's going to be my what I look to do for the next year. But yeah, some of the other programs that are more cost recovery based, I think it does help offset just as far as in general.
Thank you.
And
Any
then
other-
one question in regard to volunteers. Do the Grizzlies ever help with any of these things? Seems like you need quite a few volunteers along the
Yeah,
path, et cetera.
it's a good question. Yeah, I think we always do need more help for the Rock to Pier, and so maybe that's a good organization for me to reach out to.
And also,
Yeah, I think it would be. They were here and participated in the anniversary of Morro Bay. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'll definitely consider that for next year.
and the CCCs?
They don't do that.
They don't do that?
I'm not sure they do.
Okay, more of the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Although the CCC does require some volunteer time of their core members, so you might contact them if they want to volunteer. I think, yeah, matter
Okay.
of fact, I forgot about that. But as far as doing that as a job, I don't
Yeah.
think they do that.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, I think we're ready for C6.
Why don't we continue on with Mr. Zink, who will present the summer 2024 co-ed softball program.
Thanks a lot. Softball rolls along. We do have a new coordinator for the softball program. We hired a new employee before the summer started. He's a recent graduate from Cal Poly, so he's kind of taken the helm for our softball program. We stayed at 4 teams, so we didn't increase participation, but the folks that are playing seem to enjoy it, and happy to answer any questions the commission may have about that program.
I know it's not cost recovery, but are we asking too much? Is that why we don't get more teams, or is it just the nature of that age group?
I think our price is essentially the same as SLO and the neighboring. We have taken a close look at all of the neighboring softball programs. So I think it's more just the interest in the area. And I don't know if you guys have ever been out on a Morro Bay Monday night during the fall time or anything, but sometimes it can get cold. I'm not saying that that's the reason, but you got to be a little bit tougher to play softball in Morro Bay maybe than some of the other places.
Probably so. Any other comments? Okay, thank you. How about C7?
Why don't we have Ken go ahead and continue on with the 2024 co-ed adults kickball, which was very fun. We played. We had a team.
Yeah, so this was something that we delivered on from if you recall, the adult participation survey that we put out. We asked about kickball, and we wanted to give folks a chance to channel their inner elementary schooler. So Yeah, we had one of our employees, Jazzy, was the coordinator for that. We had a rec team, and we used the WACA, which is the World Association of Kickball rules that they have as a standard rule set, and played on Lila Kaiser on Wednesday evenings. And we did talk to the folks from Atascadero. They have their own program up there. So we got some helpful tips on things that they did that were successful. And we had the teams sign up in the same fashion as the adult softball program, where a team manager signs up for the team and organizes the players themselves. And so I'm happy to report that I believe our recreation team won the championships at the end. So yeah, we represented. So
How many are on a team?
it's like 10 to 15 on a roster. Yeah, it's pretty similar to a softball team.
It must be, in light of your recovery, 81%, it must have been pretty successful, and that it will build.
Yes. Yeah, hopefully we get some more teams to sign up, and we're planning on bringing it back in the winter.
Okay. Comments?
What's the age of people that play this?
Great question. Yeah, I did not specify. It's an adult. Like we called it social kickball to emphasize the social fun aspects of it. So it's for 18 and over. I think if you have a player that's 16 and has a parent sign off on them, they can play. But it's designed to be for adults.
Do you have a memory of what the average age was? And was it male and female, I believe?
It was yes, it was co-ed. That's correct. And I want to say probably a parent's age. Yeah.
40s.
Yeah,
40s.
Yeah, 40s.
A lot of injuries. Pulled hamstrings, things like that.
Yeah, some folks probably should have tested their physical limits before they got out on the field.
Very good. Okay, are we good with that?
We're good.
Okay, let's move to C8.
Okay, we'll give Angelica a shot at this one. This is a 2024 Downtown Trick or Treat.
Okay, this was our 10th annual Morro Bay Downtown Trick or Treat. So that was really fun. I've been here for all 10 of them. A few years ago, we decided to host it on the Saturday before Halloween, because you never know when Halloween falls on. If it's a weekday, there's school, there's soccer practice, and Saturdays just work best during the day. I also checked with a lot of other neighboring cities who do this event too, and they all do it on that Saturday as well, so it worked out. The committee, I bring together a trick-or-treat committee that includes our department, Morro Bay Chamber, and then Barber John from Mike's Barber Shop. And we each kind of take parts. The chamber does the communication with the businesses that participate. John also helps in that part. And then the Recreation Services does the festival area, which is what I call that area where we close down the street and host trunks that are giving out treats, as well as fun activities for them to do. We also do it in the same time that Morro Bay Farmers Market is, so that streets are already closed, and it makes it a lot easier to close the other parts of the street. I'd say this year we had over 1,000 participants. It was very large, and I know because it was the 10th annual, I spent a little money and purchased reusable trick-or-treat bags that had our logo on it, and I know that we gave out at least almost 500 to 800 of them. So it was definitely large attendance. And we also gave out little bracelets, and so kind of gauged that on how many participants we had. We will continue to do this the same way. We won't spend as much money next year because like I said, I spent a little money with the bags and the bracelets just to kind of commemorate the whole 10th year that we've done this. But we have extra, and we can use them next year. So, any questions or comments?
Do the children Is there a fee for this?
No,
or-
no, it's all free for any participant.
Great.
Yeah, it's a community building event. It's a great event. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you for
we had
your-
over 40 businesses, local businesses participate in the trick or treat map. And then we also had community service programs as well as fire department, police department. The trolley comes out and does a decorated haunted trolley. We had local churches that put booths out. And then just other groups, businesses that maybe aren't in the downtown area, they'll come out and also put their booths out. And some of the farmers market participated this year as
Very cool. Okay. I would like to entertain a motion to approve items C2 through C8.
I will second that motion.
Well, I guess I made that motion. Thank you, June.
What sounded like it?
No, it's fine. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, thank you. So we're ready for C9, our last item on the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an item was agendized at our last meeting. It's a review of the advisory body's handbook and bylaws. We're looking for a review, some discussion, and offer recommendations if you have some. And with this, I'll go ahead and turn it over to our chair to lead this discussion.
So I distributed to each of the commissioners who was present just that part of the handbook that deals with the Recs and Procreation bylaws, and highlighted some things that I would want to change and see how you all feel about that. So the red is what would disappear, and the blue is what would take its place. So on the first page, under appointment, you'll see that the Rec and Parks Creation, start over. The Recreation and Parks Commission shall be comprised of 5 voting members, 4, all of which will be qualified electors of the city of Morro Bay. I would like to see 4 replaced with 5. I know that we service a lot of the coast, but it all comes through the city. And therefore, I think that all the members of our commission should be city members, not from other places. I know that the city council has the discretion to go outside that rule, but we can recommend or say that we would prefer this, but I'm open to what y'all think. Commissioner Sidaris, you've been on here the longest. What do you think?
So you're saying that we should have 5 commissioners?
That we do have our 5.
Right,
But that
we
all
do.
5 of us have to be residents of Morro Bay, that one of them does not, it can come from somewhere else, but that I'm saying that all 5 should come from Morro Bay. Or do we excuse me, Mr. Carmichael, does one automatically come from outside the city? I don't think so.
No, if necessary,
If
we would draw
necessary.
from the outside communities.
Yeah.
And just as a point of reference, for example, our youth basketball program that we offer through our office, I would venture to say probably 60% are outside of the city, or folks that do not live, or children that don't live in the community.
Yeah.
So that's why we would, it's set up to seek input from our surrounding communities
Yeah.
that we serve.
Yeah. And then my argument would be, but we're the ones that distribute the program, and so we should be in charge of that. They just are lucky to participate.
And I would have to say also that we're very fortunate to have the surrounding communities because they
Yes.
provide the majority of our volunteer coaches. City of Morro Bay struggles with volunteerism as far as youth sports are concerned, so we're fortunate to have those folks who really step up and do provide that assistance to us.
That's great. Thank you for telling us that. It's good information.
As far as this committee, have we in the past had anyone from outside of Morro Bay?
Yes, just the seat that the chair has filled right now was sat, let's see, with Ray Purcell, who is from Los Osos. And in the past, we also had a Morro Bay High School student. And that was, and I was looking for the rules and regulations. I didn't come across that, but that was allowed to go ahead and seat that opening with a high school student. And just for point here, this commission used to be a 7-person commission, and over the years, we struggled to fill the seats, so it was reduced down to 5. So keep that in consideration as you move forward with your discussion.
Okay. So we can talk about these one at a time? Do you want to make a decision about the number right now, or do you want to come back to it and look at the other correct?
Why don't we,
Go as we go.
Go as we go? Okay. So does anyone have a recommendation they want to make?
Well, I think that we don't want to limit our options. If there's someone from Cayucas or Los Osos, especially somebody that's really qualified, that, you know, has,
By a qualified mean active?
well, maybe perhaps somebody that's worked in parks and recreations or sports or, you know, related fields, that I don't think we should limit our options. So
Okay.
I wouldn't change this.
So you've not changed it to
Four have
all?
to be qualified, and we could draw from outside.
Okay.
I wouldn't change that,
Okay,
my personal opinion.
that's fine.
I'll have to agree with Drew on that.
Okay.
You know, we struggle to get people on a lot of the commissions or the committees, so I would leave that.
Okay. So not, okay, we'll leave it.
I wouldn't change it, is what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, we'll leave it as is. Okay, second page. Which then takes care of the first change, 4 of the 5 members, so we just delete that and keep it as all, not get rid of the 5. And then, unless except by state law or city council approved special requirements. So I was just trying to get the city council out of it. So I don't know if you all feel that way, or if you want to leave the city council in there.
Well, we serve at the pleasure of the city council. I think they should be left in. That's my opinion.
I hate to agree with you again, but that made sense. No, that's,
Okay? Okay, so that's staying as is. Moving down to the middle of that page. So the next 1, 2, and then a couple on the next page, all have the change of eliminating the language "an advisory body member" and using the word "commissioner." Because we are not an advisory body like PWAB, we are commissioners like the Planning Commission. And I think that our title should be in there, not that we're an advisory body. So, are you okay with that?
I'm good with that. I
Okay.
signed on to be a commissioner.
Yeah, okay. Y'all want to be commissioners?
we're commissioners.
Okay, so under the organization and absence, so there's 1, 2, 3 of those changes on that page. Okay,
So point of clarification,
Shirley,
let me see, the Planning Commission, I believe by state law is required here in the city, and you would probably know that better than I would, Chair Winholz. The rest of the boards, commissions, and whatnot are all advisory. So I think we're grabbing it's a semantics issue again, as we had discussed.
yeah,
Or is
yes
there a
and no.
definition that I'm missing?
No, I think it's because under Constitution of the State of California, commissions actually have a little different responsibility and authority than do advisory bodies. And so because we are called a commission and we were formed as a commission, I think we need to be called as a commission, because this is only about our group, it's not about the other bodies. And so I think we need to consistently be called commissioners.
With that, do you feel that there's a need then to change the title of this document, City of Morro Bay Advisory Bodies Handbook and Bylaws?
Well,
Because it is referring to you then as an advisory body, but
it does.
saying we're not.
It does. And so maybe we need to say advisory bodies and commissions, like insert the word, because then that would cover both planning and rec. That's a good point. Do y'all mind if we add the word commissions to the title?
No.
Thank you.
That would make consistent, thank you. Okay, so we're down to the next page, under procedure. again, I want to work more, so I was suggesting that we meet once a month as opposed to every other month. All the other bodies,
Do we have
Every
enough,
month.
do we what?
do we have enough work to do to meet every month? Is there enough?
What, the way the planning commission handles it is if they don't, they just cancel the meeting, but they schedule the meeting. So it's an assumption that there'll be something there.
That's correct.
And, go ahead.
Well, would that be an undue burden on staff? And is there enough happens every month? Because right now, these programs usually take some time, so by every other month, and they've done their cycle, and we can see exactly
What's
how they
happened.
finished
Yeah.
what they started, as opposed to, something's right in the middle of a thing. There's not much we can do to help.
Right. I think I see this as a stepping stone, as a middle road to bringing back some of the responsibilities of the park side of the commission. Because right now, we're purely recreational. Is that right, Mr. Carmichael?
Well, our office is purely recreation. The commission is charged with park development and discussions involving park development.
Yeah.
Which is an awkward situation because it does then require the Public Works Department then to staff two advisory bodies.
Or at least show up if we have questions on something that's not recreation.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah. So what I would have to take a look at is additional funding, which is, I kind of ran some quick numbers, and it's roughly about $6,000.
Extra?
Addition, yeah, about $1,000 a meeting with AGP costs and then the overtime for our staff. So that would be, have worked into the budget. As the manager, it wouldn't be my recommendation to spend the money that way because $6,000 goes pretty far with part-time staff and what we do. Additionally, to cancel a meeting takes effort, but if we did have additional items that we did want to bring to the commission, we could call a special meeting. So therefore, we wouldn't have to do the work to cancel each time. Rather, if we did have the items, we'd do the extra work then to put something on an agenda and bring it to you. So just my thoughts.
Okay, that's an opposite way.
Yeah, we're allowed to have special meetings? Like,
Anyone can have special meetings.
I like that option.
Well, and unless it becomes then a burden, oh, we can't have a special meeting because it costs extra, or we just need to wait an extra month. So I like the anticipation that we will meet rather than, and then cancel. But I'm hearing that whatever y'all prefer.
Yeah, I don't want to burden the staff with an extra meeting every month. I like the every other month. Gives you guys time to do work and not have to prepare. I would like to see the agenda given out a little sooner, but that's,
This is one of the longest meetings we've had in quite a while.
Yeah.
Ms. Commissioner Swall, what do you think?
Well, I noticed tonight, so we had really PWAB, considered PWAB, attend this meeting. I don't know if there's something coming up now with Cloisters as far as that park and questions and concerns. And there's going to need to be some kind of meeting for it, I'm thinking. Whether it's under parks, though, so like it doesn't involve you, would it be maybe 1 month it's recreation and 1 month it's parks, since you're really not in, your group really isn't involved with the parks?
It could be something like that, but I would ask the question, do you recall the last time the Cloisters allocation issue was brought to advisory
It was
board?
July.
And where was that heard? Was it at city council or was
It
that?
was here at
It-
this meeting.
Oh, at this meeting, we talked about,
It was the July meeting.
we talked about, I think, tree planting or something.
Yes,
was-
there were several concerns, tree planting, grass,
Yeah.
maintenance, yeah.
Yeah, and those items, under the PWAB written directive in this advisory handbook does mention that they do discuss parks. So that's where the Cloisters funding is discussed at the PWAB meeting. That's who deals with it, that's who does the assessment. I believe that's what I was asking you, if you recall when that, the last time that the assessment portion was heard. with
The
regards-
assessments are always at city
It was
council.
council?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember hearing it, but I didn't know if it was Public Works or
Yeah.
city council.
yeah.
They discussed the assessment at this meeting.
Oh, yeah, when they brought
Or
up
was
their,
it, maybe it was a prior meeting.
well, I think that the two public speakers refer to their assessment that they have to pay. Yeah, yeah.
That rings a bell.
But that
Thank you.
approval comes through city council,
through the
not
council.
PWAB.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
And that's where it belongs.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so where are we with this? Are we, every other month is what I heard down here, every other month is what I heard down here?
Yeah,
We
my
might be
opinion
split
is
on
every other
this.
month. Should we vote on it?
Well, that's what we may need to do here, or we might,
Do we want to change this or?
I think,
or
yeah,
Keep it the same?
yeah. If it's a split vote, 2-2, then we'll just leave it as is.
It just seems like there's more coming up as far as the parks part, which doesn't involve you, is what you're
It
saying.
doesn't involve my office other than this advisory body or this commission.
Right.
So indirectly,
So you really aren't that aware of what's going on with
Not at
the
all.
parks?
No.
Well, perhaps we, some of
Maybe
us
they
should
need to be
attend those
involved.
other meetings. Well, perhaps we should attend their meetings and then see what we can construct from that, you know?
The PWAB meeting?
well, and it may be that we want to make a recommendation to city council about, do we want that evaluation happening at PWAB, or do we want it to come back to parks as it used to be?
That's something we'd probably have to vote on. I think we should, as private citizens, go to some of these meetings to get a better handle on it, and then we could come back and make recommendations. I think that's the proper way to do it.
Okay,
Not to go as a park commissioner to one of their meetings.
just as a private citizen.
Yeah.
I didn't
think
even know
that's
they
how
had
it should
meetings for
work.
the public PWAB.
They do, don't they?
Yes.
Yes. mhm.
Yeah. They're
And
all-
they meet-
All the meetings are public, city council, all those things.
Yeah. And they do meet monthly, except for 2 months a year, I think.
Okay.
So we'll put this one on hold and leave as is, because there's not a decision. Further down, we've got board and commission again. Just the rest of that page is, changing advisory body to commission. The last page, it says it currently says the city manager or the designee of the city manager shall be responsible for this meeting. And I suggested we change that to the recreation services manager should be responsible for preparing the agendas and reports, because that's the reality. That's who does the work. And so I think that needs to be in there rather than the city manager.
Agreed.
Right.
The city manager did this agenda?
No. But
I think that was just, yeah,
But
that-
the verbiage is such
the
that.
verbiage is just wrong.
Well, if I might interject, so I am the designee of the city manager as written.
Oh,
But I know this then is, and I kind of understand where the chair is going, is a lot of these items are still existing because the divorce of Parks and Recreation was not handled properly. It was either the city administration was unable or unwilling to deal with this. And I've continued in my job here for the last 7 years in this kind of a quagmire, if that's the right word to use. I better look that one up. 7 years ago, I had a deputy city manager that I reported to, and that individual was responsible for working with me on this agenda and this commission. I'm the only manager in the city that has an advisory body. It's a prickly thing for me that I'm not real happy with, but I'm afraid we're putting like the cart before the horse here, because what we're trying to do is push the city to take a look at its organizational structure, and I don't know if this is the right way to do it, because we're talking about a guiding document here for a kind of dysfunctional organizational structure.
Well, and I think this actually reflects reality, whether it's you or somebody else. This is the title that does the work.
This,
The recreational service manager is the one that prepares the agendas, reports, and minutes.
Correct.
It's not the city manager.
no, it's not.
And it's not the vice city manager, or whatever it was called back in the day.
It was a partnership back then, yes.
Yeah, and so I would like to make the change because it reflects reality, and it gives credit where credit's due.
But no, because it says the city
Designate.
manager designates, so
Yeah.
it's the designating, so you don't,
I don't like it.
you don't.
I have no conflict with it. It sounds proper to me.
To change
He's
it?
a designee, Kirk's a designee. Mm-hmm. You know, if anything, well, yeah, I think,
Well-
because the Parks, he is responsible for the agenda, because his people. come out,
Absolutely.
He reviews it.
Absolutely. And I don't think he checks it with the city manager.
No,
I mean, I don't
But
know.
I
trust that-
understand where he's coming
that
from, and
he's
I'd like
doing
to.
his job, so
Yeah, but I'd like to see it go back. You're right on, it's putting the cart before the horse a little bit.
I
So
don't
I'd
know.
like to see it
Well,
changed.
this is a recommendation to the city council. This is a recommendation to the city council, and this would make them have to come to the table and make a decision.
Okay.
And I
you wanna
want the
go there?
decision made this way.
So they'll
If Kurt doesn't
review.
object to us doing something like that,
I'm sorry, say again?
if you don't object to us doing something like this, then I'm not,
You can do what you like. I'll forward your recommendations to the city manager.
thank you.
yeah.
Ms. Swall, you haven't spoken. What do you think?
Well, I just think the whole thing it's a confusing situation because of the organization being, where are we with it for you? For you, and then for a commission. And then the community comes to us with their concerns, but they really shouldn't come to us because it's, it just,
It's
I
awkward.
think it's confusing.
It's very confusing. I've recommended renaming our division to the Community Services Division to remove Parks and Recreation because I've been appointed as the tourism liaison as well. And we do facility and property use, so it's more of a community service as opposed to recreation and not parks. So,
So the commissioners, I'm just asking, can we press the city council to make this change or not?
I think we need to press to make more than.
But I agree, but this is this, where you going with this for this first
Yeah.
step?
You
It's
think
just a
that would
first
help
step.
them see,
Yeah, that there's something wrong here, we need to fix it.
Maybe I'm missing something. I don't see where
Okay,
that would
that's
help our
fine.
function.
Okay, I'm going to make the motion, we change it,
Okay?
and I'll look for a second over here.
I will second that motion.
Okay. Maybe we better do a roll call vote.
that's you and Elka. Can we do a show of hands? Or for a
We can
roll
just do
call?
voice. We can do
Let's do a roll call. That's how
Chair.
they do it on the big meetings.
Chair Winholz,
Yes.
Commissioner Swall,
Yes.
Commissioner Sidaris,
No.
and Commissioner Costanzo.
Yes.
Okay. Passes
3-1.
3-1. Thank you. Okay, future agenda items.
I got one. Adopt a park. And I think I mentioned it at the seniors meeting, but I'll bring it up again because they love our parks. And they use our facilities and we support them a lot. So yeah, I think we should, the adopt a park thing is something that sort of fell by the wayside. And if we could come up with some money, then we get that third place structure. And I think that'd be wonderful.
Yes,
So I think we should give it a whirl.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, because we really need that third one. And I really would like to see that at the Cloisters, that big fire thing.
Oh,
I think it's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to see that at the next meeting? Is that too soon?
Well,
In
we currently
January?
have an adopt a thing. I think that's what they call the adopt a thing. I believe that's what they call it with the Public Works Department.
Oh,
Who-
can we get a copy of that, what their
Guidelines?
guidelines are? And we could review that and see what we can do to help promote people adopting or companies adopting a park.
Yeah, I think it was, let me see, pre-COVID,
Yes.
where we had a very robust Adopt a Park program. Well, definitely pre-COVID. It was when the divorce took place, where everything kind of slipped through the cracks.
Yeah.
I did forward I think there was 12 Adopt a Park contracts for those to Public Works when I first started the job here 8 years ago. And I don't know where they are with all that at this time. So happy to bring the Adopt a Thing,
Yeah,
because that's like benches too, and that's why they called it an Adopt a Thing. Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah, because maybe we get tourism involved, because it's in their best interest to, for advertising all the wonderful things here in Morro Bay, for the hotels and restaurants and activities.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay, we got it on the agenda.
great.
Should we agendize, or should I find that document and forward it to you?
Find that document and forward it to us, and then.
And then we'll
there
talk about it on the 16th of January.
Yeah, yeah.
Agendized? Do we have a consensus that we do, or I just need a second? Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
June, do you have anything you want to agendize?
Well, I feel like we have old business, and so I'm probably more confused than not. And should this old business be presented to PWAB?
What's old
As
business?
far as the old business being, this was the Cloisters Park concerns expressed at our July meeting. And we had community involvement. There were several people from that area, the Cloisters area, that spoke and made requests. And so I feel like that never got discussed or resolved. So my future would be, or my question, I guess, is it a future for us, or should it be a PWAB?
I believe, and when we get the video up or the minutes done, we'll know, but I believe we agreed to let things be as they were. But I think since then, you were interested in a walk around. Is that
Which
right?
maybe would be a special meeting, but would also involve Mr. Mendoza, or would you maybe, or just PWAB?
Yeah, I would,
That's where I'm confused. All right, who's going to take these concerns,
me too.
questions?
Well, I think the issue was, they want to remove some grass and add trees to save money, but I didn't see where the trees cost money, a lot of money, and the maintenance of the trees, so I don't see how long it would take to amortize that. I mean, when do you break even, and when do you save money?
Well,
So
and then
I
there
didn't
were
like
other
that plan.
questions in regard to maintenance, like there isn't time to take care of what they have, let alone add more. Then we had Mr. Paul's concerns about, he offered pro bono to work on maintenance issues, and then if there are additions, what's appropriate.
I think those are PWAB issues.
Yeah, where am I thinking? Yeah, private citizens can't really work on those public areas because of the insurance and all those other things. And to address that first thing you said, no, the maintenance are doing a great job on the parks, actually. I see them all the time. It was just the question of, they thought we could save some money by getting rid of some of the grass, which we didn't like, and adding trees, and I just didn't see a cost savings there. So it didn't seem like a good plan if the plan was just to save money. Because they're saying they have fewer staff, so by reducing the grass and adding trees, eventually we'd save money. But I didn't see it
There's
working
not a
out that way.
saving.
And they didn't have any
I
hard numbers on that.
agree. I don't see where the
Yeah, I don't see
savings-
where there's, and I don't think we should
But
ever take out grass.
I was there again tonight, and that grass area is in use,
Yes,
so.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
consider privately
So-
going to PWAB maybe, or
All right,
as private citizens, not as commissioners.
maybe not agendize
Right.
anything
'Cause
here,
perhaps they're
because I don't
handling-
think it,
Yeah.
Okay.
But perhaps they're handling these things in a manner we would really approve of. We just don't know because we don't have the information in front of us.
Okay.
So we
Let's
can
give them the
pursue
benefit
that.
of the doubt. I think they're doing a good job.
But also, if there are concerns, we'll,
It needs to be, it's not here that it's addressed.
I think that's right.
Okay.
Okay.
Future agenda? Okay,
If I could jump in really quick, just
yes.
to mention this, and I believe the minutes are found on YouTube.
Oh, they
So
are
the
up now?
city's YouTube, they should be, I don't think my staff uploads that. I believe AGP does that.
Oh,
Because
I
they
could be
weren't there
wrong.
when I looked a couple of days ago.
You did look for YouTube?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I could be incorrect then.
Okay.
And I don't know if the gentleman in the back right there can, to speak to that or not. But,
That person,
Well,
okay.
I don't think he's going to. Okay.
We usually have
do-
them on
Is
slow
there any other
span.
things that need to be said, or can we adjourn?
So to clarify, the future agenda item is the adopt a thing policy.
yeah.
Okay.
And you'll be forwarding our recommendations to the city council?
I will forward to the city manager.
Okay.
And then she can do as she sees fit.
Okay.
All right.
We're adjourned.
We're adjourned.
Thank you.
All right.